Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. When it comes to sustainable seafood, one company is pioneering the oyster industry on the North Shore. Up next, our own Michaela Johnson makes her way to Rowley, Mass. to shine a light on the Great Marsh Shellfish Company with owner and founder, Brendan Doyle.
We knew we were coming out to the Great Marsh. We are literally in the Great Marsh.
Yep.
Talk about your setup here, the location. Very minimalistic and down to earth.
Oh yeah, oyster farming is very basic. We just do the simple things. If you can keep them alive and keep them in your possession, you can be a successful oyster farmer.
This place, this location, perfect for what you're doing in terms of harvesting oysters. But it also has such a charm to it. Can you tell us about your properties and where you actually are?
My camp was built in 1902. It was originally a duck hunting camp. Our goal is to transform part of this camp into an actual hatchery where we can raise millions of shellfish of different types and then put those back into the ecosystem. There's no better way to maintain and improve this wild ecosystem than to add more shellfish to it. One adult oyster can filter 50 gallons of seawater a day, and that removes nitrogen, all sorts of things that we as humans use in fertilizers and other things into the environment. They will clean that up for us.
How does one create an oyster farm? What do you need to get
Location,
it up and running?
location.
Yeah.
What has turned out to be one of the most productive, amazing oyster farm locations I could have ever possibly dreamed of. As a gamble getting into it, I didn't know it was going to be this productive, but now 4 years in, it's just been amazing. This is the first time in over 200 years that oysters have been commercially available from the Great Marsh.
And helping Brendan grow this unique aquaculture farm is business manager and shellfish farmer Lindsay Wishart.
Boots in the marsh, our gloves are on. Lindsay, we are ready to go. Tell us about what is established here and where you hope it goes in the future.
Brendan started the farm back in 2021 with his first crop planting of 50,000 oysters. We have increased our capacity year after year since then, with this growing season being our biggest harvest that we're working with and our biggest seed planting that we've done thus far.
Before we can enjoy the oysters on their plate, they have to get there. What is the process like?
Yeah, so we purchase seed. It gets overnight shipped to us. We plant that seed out in our nursery, and as the seed grows, it graduates into larger and larger mesh-sized bags, eventually working its way into our floating cages.
Will you show us what's inside some of the cages?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our unique nursery setup. Because we are off-grid out here in the middle of the Great Marsh, we don't have access to a dock, we don't have electricity. So we have developed this rack and tube system, and as the tide comes up, the tubes hang in the water and gently sway. Oysters want to clump. They want to stick to something.
Okay.
And so if you don't shake them and move them, they'll stick to each other. They take a lot of handling. The tide does some of that work for us, but we have to do it too.
We'll do the rest of the work
yeah, you
right
want
now.
to snap one off?
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, you just unhook it, give it a little twist.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then we'll take it right here into the water.
Okay.
Just deep enough so you can submerge it. And then give it a good shake. That is sort of giving them a little massage, a little baby massage, and it's cleaning them. And I'll show you what a baby oyster looks like.
What?
So there's about 10,000 baby oysters in this tube.
When do they become, I guess, recognizable?
They grow a millimeter a week easily. They're up into 1.5 inch size within 2 months.
It looks like grains.
Yeah. So the ones that we were looking at here, look at the size of that.
Wow.
So these are our 2022 crop. These were
Yeah.
planted at the
At the
very
same
same
time?
time.
Gosh.
So some of them, they just refuse to grow.
They're taking their time. They're
They
going to be
are.
extra delicious
They
once they're
are.
ready.
So do you want to try one of these early first crop of our farm oysters?
Absolutely.
So do you know you have to chew your oyster before swallowing it? You can't just swallow it.
I think I've been doing it wrong my entire life.
You got to give it a couple chews.
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to have pearls in your belly. You'll never know it.
You going to have one with me?
Sure. So this is fresh out of the water. Cheers.
Cheers. So that is delicious. I can kind of taste the brine and so fresh. Is it like a grassy? I feel,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we plucked them right out of the water, but it tastes that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're getting the salt marsh and the, you know, that beautiful ocean taste mixed with the grassiness of the nutrients that are running through the estuary.
Perfect combination.
Yeah.
It feels as though we've stepped back in time, in a sense. There's no electricity. There's really not much here except you guys.
Yeah. I mean, once we leave the dock in the morning, we are off the grid. So this 100-plus-year-old duck hunting and fishing camp is sort of our home base. We really can do our whole operation from planting seed to tumbling the oysters, harvesting them, all off-grid. We use batteries and human power to do everything it takes to do our ocean farming here. We really are out here in this pristine location, growing oysters in the most natural setting you possibly could imagine.